celebrate our friend, Ms. Angela Evans, and her run for Fayette County Attorney. Very excited to be here. My name is Stephanie Evans Kingsley. I am the Emerge Kentucky Treasurer, and I have known Ms. Angela for a very long time. She was an Assistant Attorney General in Jack Conway's administration. I ended Jack Conway's career as an Assistant Attorney General in his administration, and I think a lot of the things that you do as a government attorney will transfer to a county attorney position. You're looking out for the little guy, you're looking out for your people, you're looking out for your community. And I really think that Angela has the temperament to be a fair-handed and progressive prosecutor when it comes to how do we treat our community in the criminal justice system. And I am very excited about this race. I am very excited about the possibility of having a Black woman county attorney in one of our largest counties in Kentucky. Representation matters, and this is important work. So, without further ado, I would like to hand over the microphone to my friend, Ms. Angela.
Thank you, Stephanie. And okay, first of all, before I forget, thank you to all of the fellow co-hosts who have helped make this event happen. I have to say I was a little nervous. You know, the weather was not looking great, but so that's an extra special thank you to all of you all for coming out. It really does mean a lot, and there are some other candidates here, and I will speak for them as well, that it means so much when you come out in bad weather to just show support. Hopefully write a check. But again, so thank you all for coming. And yes, as Stephanie said, I really do feel like this is the race for me. You know, people were, you know, I came back from Princeton, people were trying to get me to run for council or judge, but great offices, by the way, they're candidates here. But it really just didn't feel right for me. You know, in the last few years, I've been thinking about what my next moves would be. I went to Princeton, and a lot of classes, criminal justice reform kept coming to the surface for me. You know, I started my legal career as a public defender. My bachelor's is in social work, so as she said, I've always just cared about helping people. Like that's what I want to do at the end of the day, and want to make things as equitable and as possible for people, regardless of where they are in life. And my background in social work allows me to have the grace for people, and even as a public defender, you know, there are people that we all just start off in different lots in life. You know, we like to think that everyone makes the right decision all the time, but we are human and we are imperfect, and we all don't have the same support growing up, even into adulthood. So I've always seen that, and it's always been something that, you know, when people make the wrong decisions, we always just want to attack. And, you know, people do have consequences to their actions, don't get me wrong, but we have so much going on that we can't continue to just jail people. You know, we've tried to do that. You know, we've done the hard on crime, and we know that criminal behavior is simply just the symptom of a lot of different issues that are going on. You know, there's just so much evidence that backs that up. But again, my platform is really to be smart on crime. And how are you smart on crime? People say, what does that mean? Well, it means whatever offer that my office, Shelby County Attorney, gives, we want to make sure that those are offers that will help reduce people coming back. That's not information that we've gathered. Because part of our job as prosecutors, as county attorney, is to make Lexington safer. And how do we do that? By helping people not return and not do those same crimes again. And you know, people say, oh, I believe you've been to Princeton, you know, you're talking about data, but that is part of what we need to do. We need to be focused on how to keep people not just out, but prevent them from coming back. Because any police officer, defense attorney, prosecutor will tell you and acknowledge that there is a revolving door, but we need to figure out how to slow that door and how to get people on the right track, because there are so many services and programs that do work, and that's the evidence-based program that I will advocate for. That's the third piece of the material that some of you all have. We know that having more rehabilitation centers, having more drug courts, more mental health courts, creating more social services options in the community helps people. Whether they have a drug problem, a mental health issue, or just economic issues, the more resources we can provide outside of the court system, the better off we all are. And so that's what I want to partner with community leaders about. It's not just me advocating, and that's a way to use this role differently that we've probably never seen it used before. I want to help advocate with the social services organizations, with your council members, with the mayor, and say, this is why we need more resources to all these different services. This is why we need more social workers. This is why we need more police officers that do, the neighborhood resources. It really is something that we all need to really be involved in. The prosecutor's office can't just be about prosecuting anymore. The county attorney is a part of the community. All of those assistant county attorneys are part of this community, and we need to be involved in making Lexington safer for everyone. And so we also, a piece of my platform is about transparency and equity. Now, I've been in government, I think, all of my career, and we are now in a time where we probably have the best electorate in the sense of their education and their awareness. And we now have an entire country, even the world, is coming and demanding that we are more transparent as a government, whether it's council or whether it's the court system. And we need to take that seriously. And what does that look like in a county attorney's office? Well, it's an elected position that receives county dollars. So let's just start with, we need to be aware of how that money is being spent. I want to be a good steward of the taxpayer dollars because it is an elected position, and don't need to forget that. I'm responsible to you. I'm accountable to you and how those dollars are spent. And that's something that hasn't been upfront and forthcoming. And all governments need to do that. We can talk about, the budget this and the budget that, but that budget's right there. So we need to be transparent. How are those funds being used? How are your tax dollars and revenue going back into the office or going back to you as a taxpayer? That's something we don't know right now. But the transparency when it comes to community or the criminal justice system, which is something that people have been protesting for quite some time. We have a diversion program. They can keep people from having a criminal record. But right now, we don't know who's afforded that option. I've never known it. It's just truly at the discretion of a prosecutor. And so we don't know if it is based on, well, not based, but we don't know. So we don't know if there's a true disparity. People can claim that they're being honest, but we all have our biases that factor into everything we do. And that goes back to having real data. We need to start collecting that and being transparent about what charges are we interested in making sure, do get diverted. Who is getting diverted? How old are they? What color are they? What's the age? What's the, what is their sex and economic background? Just collecting information so we can know what we need to do better. What charges are being committed the most often? Why not being a good steward also means using your resources efficiently and going towards the most important and the most serious crimes, but then finding out what are the most common ones and what do we need to do to prevent those. people want to talk about the police department all the time, but I will tell you, the police department has put that information out there. It's on their website. They've got the demographics of, the arrests, how many people they've arrested, what year, what are the charges. But that's only part of the story. That's how the story starts. But we have no idea how that story ends. So we need to be more forthcoming and truly give people information. I've always been, my first racist counsel, I've always just wanted to help people understand government, understand the court system. And that's part of it. Understanding that your burglary charge might not end in a burglary charge. It might get amended down. Things happen in the court system, and that's a good thing. It's part of how the system works. But we do need to be more transparent and more forthcoming. And so that is what I would truly want to do. Lexington prides itself on being so intelligent and so intellectual, and we want the brightest minds. And part of that means using our own intellect and our own bright minds to collect that data and see what it really means so we can put it to good use and effective use. But again, I truly believe this is the race for me. Your local offices are going to be more important now than they've ever been. We see what's happening in Washington. We see what's happening in Frankfurt. Your local elected officials are going to be the ones who are truly speaking for you. They're going to be the ones who either implement or don't implement, what's coming down from Frankfurt or from DC. And you need to have people in there that you know who care for you, who care about you, who want to do the best, who aren't just going to do what's always been done. Because doing what we've always done is what's gotten us here. And I don't think any of us like where we are right now. So again, I want to thank you all.
Sorry, I feel very deeply about that.
Yeah.
About you can't do what we want to know.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too nasty, but 16 years is long enough to come up with new ideas. And I have new ideas. I'm happy to talk to people about them. And it's time for a new voice. We're in a new era of government, a new era of criminal justice reform, and we need a new county attorney, and I believe that I am a candidate for this new era. So again, I thank you for coming. I ask for your vote before I forget that. Ask you to share what I shared with you with everyone, because it's going to take everyone's vote. And this is just the Democratic primary. I don't know if you all know, but Democrats will decide this race.
Yeah.
And I am the one who stands for your democratic values. I believe I've been active. I'm the one who will make sure that democratic values are reflected in that office. So please share that. Tell your friends, make sure they vote, have a plan to go vote. May 17th, it is just the primary. So ask for your vote, ask for your financial support, because there is still work to be done. And again, thank you all so much for coming out. I appreciate all of you. You've been so supportive, and I will continue to ask for your support. We have a schedule for knocking on doors and things like that. So, we have writing letters, everything. There's a lot to be done in this less than 50 days. So would truly love any way you can help. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Please eat, because that will be my dinner for the next 2 days if you don't. Or charades. But again, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. And don't get too much. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. I have one more thing. I almost forgot, because if some of you noticed on some of the posts, I was kind of alluding to justice, because of course, county attorney's office, you have justice. So for all of you who came, I do have a little extra special something for you. I hope I have enough. But a little short story. So one of my constituents who I met on election day, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, she was just a ball of light. She was just, I'd say she's just yellow. She was just the color yellow, just so bright, energetic. And we just talked so long in the parking lot. And I finally said, you just smell so good. And she makes body butter. She's got, Teresa Johnson is her name. So yeah, she's like, oh, okay, well, body butter, here it goes. So probably about 3 years ago, I brought her a scent. I'm like, can you maybe help replicate this? And she said, sure, of course. Added a little something extra to it. So, there are no trademark issues. But yes, so she did it. I've been ordering it for years just on my own. But it seems very, serendipitous, apropos, whatever you want to call it. She actually named it Justice in honor of me. So what I would leave with you all for a little extra gift for coming out is a little tin of the body butter, Justice, to remind you that we all deserve justice and to take a little piece of it with you tonight. So, here you go.
I'll take one.
Yes.
Thank you.
And they are paid for the campaign, you can see it, but she's also got her favorite one. So, yes, Teresa Johnson is her name, so Teresa Howard Johnson. So, yes, her information is on here as well. Feel free to just go order some on your own too. It's just fun. But, yes, so this is my gift to you all for coming out tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you.